Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Folks, today we're going to talk about a topic that I think a lot of people want to know about. What is going on when an avoidant ghosts you and then they come back, especially act like nothing ever happened? What is going on? Do they want to change? Are they using you? Are they trying to hurt you? What is going on? And we're going to talk about that today, okay? So, y'all, I mainly work with couples, but I do work with individuals as well, and I see these behaviors. And some of these things are things that patients have actually directly admitted to me that that's why they're doing it, okay? Some of them are actually more self aware than you realize. Fortunately and unfortunately, I think it's easy to feel like avoidants are very, they're not aware that they're doing these things. It makes it easier to swallow. However, that's not always the case. And the very first one, which I feel like is one of the most common reasons that an avoidant ghosts you and then comes back. And this is pretty specific to dismissive avoidance, but it also might be to fearful avoidance, but much more specific to dismissive or fearful leaning, strongly dismissive. And it's they're trying to start fresh with you. If they ghost you and then they come back, they obviously want to come back for a reason, right? They didn't have to. So why did they come back and why did they ghost you? They ghosted you because maybe you guys had an issue and they struggle with conflict resolution, conflict skills in general, or communication skills. And for whatever reason, they were feeling suffocated, uncomfortable, or whatever. And so they ghosted to take a step back. Maybe you were pressuring them to do something. Starting negative things are starting to come up. And they don't really know how to communicate that or set those boundaries. So what they do is they ghost to give you like some space, because that's what they think, right? Because they need space sometimes. So they think, okay, you're upset, you're angry, you're not feeling good. Let me give you some space and then I'm going to come back and the issue should be resolved. Because think about it like this, and I know a lot of you guys have experienced this. Have you ever been in a situation where you and an avoidant has a fight and then you guys resolve it and they're like completely fine, they forgot about it completely, even if they were the one that was upset? Have you ever seen that? It happens, right? They perceive the world like that. So they kind of are trying to simulate that with you, right? They have ghosted you. They're giving you that space and then they come back and then they feel like everything's going to be fine again. And that's why a lot of people, the mistake they make, it's not really a mistake, but it's a reality. What ends up happening, why this creates a cycle, is because you bring up those issues again and then they ghost again because they're trying to reset it again. And then it becomes an off and on situation. But what ends up happening is if your partner comes back, don't bring up those issues if you want them to stay. I'm just being real with you, okay? Don't bring them up for a couple of weeks, a couple months even, depending on how severe the issue was. And then next time when you bring it up, they're less likely to ghost because they realized that you guys can still stay together while having the issues, right? Because that's exactly what happened. They returned, you stayed calm. You can still bring it up, but it doesn't mean that you have to have a conversation about it, right? You might even bring it up in a positive way. Hey, I know that last time we fought about X, Y, and Z, but I'm glad that we figured it out and we realized it wasn't that important. It's not that important, right? If you say that, that's going to make them stay probably forever. If that's what you want, go for it. But they return because they realize, I like this person. Let's sort out our differences. It might not look like that, but that's truly what's going on, okay? The next one is actually that they regret how they handled things. Sometimes ghosting just seems easier and it's not fair. It's a pretty selfish perspective and this shouldn't be happening. I don't really appreciate ghosting. I don't think it's healthy at all, but a lot of people like it. So whatever it is, if that's how you guys want to manage your feelings, that's fine. I don't think it's very healthy. And so it's easier to ghost and put this whatever was going on away, even their emotions, so they can disconnect. And then later guilt or reflection may hit them and they may want to reconnect or explain themselves. Now, if this is a case and they say they're sorry, let them explain themselves and hear them out and let them process it in their own way. It takes a lot of courage to do this, especially because if they are ghosting, in general, they're probably not very self-aware because why would you do that? You're already starting pretty low in the healing process. I'm just being honest. And so them even trying to explain themselves is a sign. So if you can respect them and appreciate what they're saying while still saying, I would appreciate you not ghosting. Can we next time talk about this next time this happens? I'm not going to be mad. And you guys can handle it from there. It's going to help heal both you guys and make the relationship so much stronger, okay? The next one is not a very positive one. And this is not that common, but unfortunately it is. It still happens, right? I guess the best way to put it is they think you'll still be available. And it's kind of like they don't it comes from their own lack of respect for you, honestly. And I'm sorry if that's a little harsh, but I want to be real with you guys. They honestly that assume that you're going to still be interested and that you're going to respond like overly ambitious, not ambitious, but like willing to reconnect, like basically almost like you're sitting around waiting. And often this is a sign of them struggling with their own entitlement, lack of respect, or lack of understanding other people's feelings. Because in their mind, what could be happening is not that they don't like you. They might like you a lot. In fact, they probably really like you. But it's more like they just think everything is my way or the highway, tunnel vision. So when they don't want you, they don't need to get you. And when they do want you, they just come back. Very unfortunate. And I don't think any of you guys should tolerate this. A conversation should happen, right? And this is a moment where setting a boundary is appropriate. Doesn't mean an ultimatum necessarily. And you guys know I don't like ultimatums, but in a situation like this where somebody has ghosted you and come back, it's barely a relationship. Ultimatums should not be occurring in a relationship, but this is not a relationship. This is disrespect. At this point, it's not an ultimatum, it's a boundary. I'm fine with you coming back, right? But I want you to respect my time. I'm okay with reconnecting. I'm okay with talking, and I'm okay with taking things slow. I didn't handle things the best time the first time around either. But I still want us to continue to have communication, show each other that we're interested, right? So that can be a fine way to express yourself while still getting your partner to meet you halfway and you're meeting them halfway, okay? Very important, but still something to keep in mind, okay? The next one is actually, they felt that they had to change. They felt pressure to change. And they didn't know how to. It's not an excuse, but I'm just telling you the truth. They didn't know how to change. And they felt like you might be better off without them because they hurt you when they're not changing. Maybe you're crying and you're hurt and you're asking them to change and they just can't do it. I remember, this was a while ago, but I had one patient, he really cared about this girl. And sometimes she would even sit in these sessions as well. So I saw both sides. And this happens a lot. But I remember some patients would say, like, every time we reconnect, or every time I make a mistake, I make her cry. Or I see my partner sad, and I can't do that. So the best option is for me to just leave. Because if I leave and I tell her I have to go, and I can't change, it's just going to hurt her even more, but she's going to try and make me stay, which is good, but then I'm going to just disappoint her again, and I'm going to ruin her. It sounds like such an excuse, but I'm just telling you all the truth. I'm going to ruin her perception of love if I keep staying. So my only option in their mind is just to ghost. But then what happens is they come back because they miss you. And I'm not saying that you have to take them back, but this is more for information. They felt pressure to change. They felt pressure like you're not going to like them for who they are. And they felt like there was no wiggle room. And so they left because they want you happy. And they come back later when they miss you. Typically, if this is the case, it's usually like they don't come back after like a month or 3 months. It might take even longer because they really do want you happy. But you can see that they're battling. They care about you, but they don't want to hurt you. So those are some of the reasons that an avoidant may ghost you and then they come back, okay? So I hope this video is helpful. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.